And today we're going to be talking with two special people who voiced characters in Tomb Raider games. So we have Jonell Elliott, who voiced Lara in Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6, also known as The Last Revelation, Chronicles, and the Angel of Darkness. And Eric Loren, who voiced Kurtis Trent in Tomb Raider, The Angel of Darkness. Without further ado, come on in, guys, don't be shy.
Hello. Hi there, guys.
Hello there.
See, some of you have dressed up, looking very gorgeous.
I told you there were quite a few Laras here, and you didn't believe me.
I see some familiar faces as well.
Yep. So let's go into it. I know, Jonell, you have to go, so I have a timer set for you.
Going to the theatre.
Yeah. So Eric, we will finish you off later. That did come out wrong, but no, it doesn't matter. It always happens. So, how did you both get into the voiceover industry, and what led you specifically to pursue the voice acting for video games?
Well, I went to drama school, and upon leaving, I thought I might need another little job as backup, because we all know how precarious acting can be. And I went and did a sound engineering course in a studio in Camden, and I was basically making tea.
Was it a good tea?
I make a really good cup of tea, yeah.
Nice.
And while I was there, my boss had said to a few clients, you know, if you ever need a voiceover, our T-pop, she went to drama school, she's pretty good. And there was this one particular day, I think it was Turner, they asked for a voiceover, and I ran in, they couldn't get anybody quick enough. So I went in, did this little voice for them, and they were like, yeah, we like what you're doing there. And they introduced me to an agent, and from there, my voiceover career started. And with the games, that sort of came quite quickly, actually, with some CD-ROM games.
Yeah.
I did like Dr. Moreau's Island. Yeah. And it led on to Tomb Raider, which obviously I heard about in 1996 when Shelley Blond took the role, because Shelley and I are mates.
That lady over there.
That lady over there. Oh my God, you've got some old photos.
Of course.
Oh, I love that.
When she asked me about questions, I was like, I'm not telling you anything because I have pictures.
Yeah, well, Shelley and I were working.
There's more to come.
Yeah. Oh no, I hope they're not rude. No, Shelley and I worked in a musical, and that's how we met. But carry on, Ash.
Yeah. Eric, briefly.
Oh, yeah, briefly, because we need,
Yeah.
Well,
I'll come back to you
I
later.
also went to drama school, and I was actually doing a play, and it was up in Belfast, and it was an American play, and I had to do the radio ads for the play. So I did a couple of those, and I thought, wow, I love doing this. And I came back to London, and I basically made a tape, and this friend of mine had just gotten picked up by a voice agent. And I said, will you send this in and just see if I'm good enough to do this? And they came back and said, yeah, we'll take you on.
Nice.
And then I made a new tape because it was so bad. I knew it was bad.
And I have quite a few questions for you about because I know you still do a lot of voiceover acting, including the characters in AAA games like Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff. That's all still to come. Yeah, lots of questions. Jonell,
Yes.
So we're going to go to Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, your first game.
Ooh.
That has marked your debut as Lara Croft. So
Yes.
what was your approach for voicing Lara? And did you identify any specific aspects of her character? And how did you bring her to life, basically?
Well, obviously I'd seen Shelley Blond in the role, and I kind of knew what they wanted. But I got to add a bit of my own little spice as well, because I got to play Lara when she was 17. So I played young Lara, so that was really interesting. Have you got it up there? Oh, The Last Revelation.
How did you...
Oh, yes. Oh, I should have brought me specs. Yeah, and, you know, so I got to play two parts of her character, which was fun to do. And I don't know, I think, when I was at Derby, they were talking about how, not Shelley. Judith was going to play young Lara, wasn't she, or something?
Yeah.
But she couldn't get the young voice or something, so it got handed to me. I don't know.
How did you go with a young Lara? So you said you did listen to recordings of Shelley and Judy, but for young Lara, that's a brand new character, effectively. So what was your reference point for that?
I think she was kind of a little minx, quite sassy. I mean, she could still take on anybody. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the
This place gives me the creeps.
Oh, no.
After you.
Oh gosh, I need to go and check those out because I've kind of forgotten those. It's such a long time ago.
Can you share your experience working with Kerry Shale?
Kerry Shale.
Yeah, he voiced Werner von Croy. This is from the Angel of Darkness recordings, but I couldn't find
my
another picture of
gosh.
you together.
Wow, that is a long time ago.
Yeah. What was
Kerry
your
looks the
experience
same
like?
though now.
Kerry doesn't look any different,
No
does
different.
No, he stayed the same.
he? No, he was really good fun to work with. I mean, he does play baddies really well,
Oh.
doesn't he? I mean, you
Yeah,
you,
I actually
you
did a
worked
play with him
as
for
well.
a year. We were on
Wow.
tour together, and he just like that. He was a baddie the whole time.
He's very naughty.
He does have the baddie face. I hope he's not going to watch this and hate me forever.
Have you
after
ever met him?
No.
Oh, we need to get him on.
I don't think I ever will
we?
now. Okay, so we're going to move on to Tomb Raider Chronicles now, my first game. Actually,
Okay.
you are the reason
it?
why I'm here today.
Oh,
Yes, so Tomb Raider Chronicles.
okay.
This features Lara exploring different points of her past. How did you approach voicing her on each of these alternative realities, if you will? And what were the challenges of portraying her on different stages of her life?
Well, this is the one where you find out that she's not dead, right?
No, you don't know. You're missing, presumed dead.
Okay.
That was my next question.
No, but it leads up to that, don't you? And you kind of find out what happens after
All
the
we know is
tomb.
that he found her backpack, that's it.
Well, obviously, I've left young Lara behind, so, you know, I'm in full Lara mode. I mean, I don't know, I just took, you know, the direction from the producer, you know, as and when I was there. I mean, they booked me for a couple of hours, you know, just gave me the brief there and then. I mean, that's how we work, isn't it? It's off the cuff.
Except on Angel of Darkness, it was different.
I did go down a darker avenue there, yeah. But, you know, and you do your Waller Banks and everything, which is where you do all the screams. And, I mean, that takes a long time, doesn't it? And it takes a lot out of you.
I'm actually like...
And the grunting and the groaning.
Itching to ask you to do the scream now, but I think we're going to deafen everyone.
I don't want to deafen anyone.
Yeah, we're fine. Grunts?
And the
No.
grunts.
Oh my God, yes. That just turned me straight. Anyway, we're going back to the directions and stuff. Judith and Shelley, they sound very different to you in the game when they portray Lara, because actually they sound different to themselves. Shelley sounds this cold, like, you know, I don't want to use the word dull, but that's kind of how they tone her
Yeah.
down that much. Judy is the same, whereas in person, they're all these bubbly characters, just like yourself, really.
Yeah.
So how is that you sound, well, Lara, even now when you're talking to me, whereas, you know, was there not that much of, like, push to make you change your voice?
I can't even remember them saying, like, you've got to be different than Shelley and Judith. It was just a natural progression. It's just the way it went. I don't, you know, I still had to be, you know, strong, tough. You know, there's that sarcasm in her voice. She's very quick-witted. The put-downs are bad. You know, and when it comes to those sort of, you know, more grueling scenes, you just have to throw yourself at it, you know.
Those sarcasm lines are so useful to me now since I'm single and using them to get away the creeps off my grinder. Don't be useful, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's great. It's a personal story. So
I want to hear more.
no, not right now. I'll tell you later. So Lara is missing, presumed dead in Tomb Raider Chronicles, going back to this. Did you know there's going to be another game after that?
No.
You didn't.
Oh, no. Tell me more.
No,
Who have you heard?
Well, Angel of Darkness was after it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Angel of Darkness.
Did you know that when you're doing Chronicles, there's going to be another one?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, they
did.
never told me anything. It was kept a big secret.
Oh.
I mean, I never thought I'd play Lara again 3 times. You know,
Well-
I'd do a game and that was it, finished, end of job. I never ever
I heard
thought.
there was actually a big push to keep her on for
What?
Angel of Darkness.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's supposed to be 3
From
Angel of
within
Darkness
core.
games, actually.
Was there?
Yeah, but unfortunately the studio shut down.
Oh, you know more than me.
Yeah. I know lots of things. My grandpa was in KGB. I know everything.
I need to get you drunk, Ash. Get these secrets out of you.
I'm going to do them with sober, trust me.
Okay.
That's why I'm blacklisted from so many things. I'm sure on the government list somewhere. Actually, you didn't do Lara 3 times, didn't you? You actually did Lara with me on the Tomb Raider Myth of Valhalla.
Yes. I forgot about that as well.
Yeah. How did you feel going back into that? Because for those who don't know, basically, I asked Murty Scofield, the writer of Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness, to do us a script to plug in the hole between the events of Tomb Raider 4 and 6, because we didn't know what was happening to her.
No.
Then. So this animation, which you can watch on YouTube, Jonell kindly voiced it for us. Explains what was happening. So what was your thought to go back?
Well, I thought it was really interesting. I mean, Murty's such a good writer, isn't he? And so good with that dark, edgier stuff. And I think the fans were sort of crying out for it as well. I think they wanted to sort of hear what happened, because it wasn't really properly finished off.
No, it wasn't. There was lots of missing cutscenes. That's why no one knows what the hell happened.
And there were a lot of promises that weren't fulfilled in some ways, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was great for me to get my teeth into it all these years later. I still have to pinch myself to say I'm
I might
sitting
do a
here.
Kurtis animation if you want. I'm not paying anything though, just so you know. I'm poor.
I mean, I think it's amazing that people are still talking about her all these years later. They're still making movies, cartoons. You know, I don't think anybody imagined, least of all me or Shelley or Judith, that we'd be sitting here all these years later talking about her again. So,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
it's
so
amazing.
interesting that you and Shelley are friends, because when I first interviewed her and afterwards I was like, could you ask Jonell to sign me to my Chronicles because she's my favorite Lara? The look I have got from her.
I don't
And then I
believe
was like,
it.
to my foreign
no rivalry.
excuse is, I thought you were the same person. I didn't have credits in my game. I'm so sorry. But please, could you get her to sign? Fine. How dare you?
No, we love each other.
I know.
There's no rivalry there.
We're going now to the Angel of Darkness.
Okay.
So, do you both have any memories or recollections of the recording sessions for these games? Perhaps these photos will jig your memories.
I think we had a laugh, didn't we? There was a lot of
I think you can clearly see we got on.
hijinks going on.
Yeah. But, you know, it was also, from the start, it was just, we knew what it had to be, and I think there was a lot of, there was a good chemistry between the two of us.
Definitely, yeah.
You both look like you're literally like, we're friends for like 30 years. Every time I meet
Yeah.
you, like,
But
though
you
we
see
haven't
that
seen each
also
We
other
with
for
did
years.
pick up where we left off, though,
Yeah,
don't
we did. We hadn't seen each other in ages, but it was like, oh yeah, and you can see even with Murty, we had a laugh.
Yeah.
I think, you know, Murty's a very funny guy, and also he loved the work that we were doing, and we loved the work that we were
Yeah.
doing, and it was very different because, you know, in the games before and in some other games, you literally just have some script in front of you and you're on your own. But here it was like doing a radio play. We were
Yeah.
able to like look at each other and talk and really work on the relationship with everybody, I think, in the game. And I think that that's what comes off and why it's memorable. Besides the fact that Murty's story is so
Oh
in
my
depth
God.
and
It was like a
dark
film
and-
script, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a
It's
film script.
Something to get your teeth into.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you can see, I
Noir.
mean, I watched it recently, and there's a bit where there's a lot of exposition, but it was all done in this kind of stylistic way.
Yeah.
And the tension was there the whole time.
Yeah. I can't believe how much younger we look.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions here, like, you know, about this, but we'll come back to it. Jonell, Lara's character in The Angel of Darkness is significantly darker,
Yeah.
less tolerant, more aggressive, as in tolerant towards people in general.
Yeah.
More aggressive, more sassy than the previous game. How did you approach that? Because, you know, you are very different.
I know, but I think all actors out there like to play the bad guy. You know, like we said earlier, like you get your teeth into it.
Yeah. It's good, you know, that a little sarcasm and a little,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's easy. It's not easier, but it's more fun. It's exciting.
Exactly. It is more fun. Yeah.
Can you do the line? You unsavory little runt.
You unsavory little runt.
There you go. I mean, like,
That was you saying it, yeah.
There's some good lines in it, I've got to
there's
say.
yeah, there are some good bangers. I mean, they're quite iconic, those lines, which I hate the word iconic, but they are. Like, I mean, there's no other words. Since you're very different to her, do you ever think of shifting into that character sometimes? Like, I don't know, Tube Rush Hour, and you're like,
Oh, you'd have to ask my other half. I'm
Okay.
sure he'd have
To be
something to say
confirmed.
about it. I think everybody's got that side to them, haven't they? No, everybody has. Everyone pull out their dark side from time to time. It's there. Maybe hidden at times, but it's there.
So
I mean, to be fair, it's like I always want to play Kurtis in every game I do.
you sound like him.
But that's kind of like, if I could do that all day, every day, I'd be quite happy.
What, the bad guy?
No, just that kind of, that tone, and they're like, no, that's old-fashioned. We don't want that anymore. Can you do something else?
Mysterious stranger. That's kind of the attitude. Question for you both.
Okay.
Did you use any video references or other materials when voicing, or were you just like described, oh, you're doing this now?
Sorry, say that again.
So
Ash.
like when you were recording,
Yeah.
did you have like any visual references, like work in progress cutscenes?
Yeah, we did get shown
There were
like
pictures.
drawings.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Okay.
I think we knew what they looked like. But, it's kind of like, it's a strange thing, but, well, you didn't dress like that. But I kind of,
didn't dress
there's
like that,
something
no.
in video games, especially in the early days, that if you're coming in to play someone like Kurtis, you kind of came in when you met them.
He's
As
very
close to
early
that is-
2000s. isn't he?
Yeah. But I come in with like, leather jacket and a black T-shirt.
That was his original design.
Did you?
leather
Yeah, I
jacket.
would. I
can't
would meet them and kind of come in, so they're like, "Oh, you're that guy. Not only just you are him." You're like,
I didn't
"Yeah,
come in the
that's
shorts, the t-shirt. No.
How- shall we do like Kickstarter crowdfunding for you to wear shorts? No. Or-
I
or-
was just like this, jeans.
I mean, she does wear jeans. in the
Sweatshirt.
game. She does like double
Cash.
denim. Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. You're right.
What was it like working with Josh Auckland? Obviously, rest in peace.
Oh.
He's over there.
I know.
Eckhart?
Wonderful actor. He was he was just brilliant to watch, wasn't he? Really commanding voice. I mean, he did scare me a little bit.
But we were lucky enough to be in like a studio setup all together, so you could be with him.
You don't get that much now,
No,
do
you
you?
very rarely get that.
No.
No.
It's so nice to be in the same room, see what everyone's doing, and
He has this demeanor.
it
probably,
kind of,
yeah.
It,
But
we
Murty's presence as well, because like I said, he was loving it so much.
Yeah.
The enjoyment of watching his ideas come to life, that it made you want to just, go out of your way to make sure it was exactly what he
I always
wanted.
feel like it's his baby.
It's
That's
his
how he
baby,
treats
yeah.
that game.
But he brought you into it, so you felt like this is something we all want to be a part of this, We
Now-
still are.
yeah.
Interesting question here is, what the hell does Jason Isaacs doing there?
I was going to ask you the same question.
Because
was
that's
he in
from
it?
He was then.
Was
He's not in the
he?
game. He's not in the game, but he was there.
Is he not in the game?
He's not in the game.
You went to college with
I
Jason,
was at college with Jason. Yeah.
and I know Jason well. We've worked together a lot.
No,
He
not-
looks like he belongs in that section, doesn't he?
I mean, he was there with you guys. I don't know what he was
Are
doing
you sure
there.
you didn't voice somebody that just didn't make it to the game?
Absolutely. I
Really?
checked the credits. He's definitely not in the game.
No, but,
Oh.
but maybe there was something that just didn't make it.
Maybe. I
I'll
don't know how
ask
he
him. I'll
sounds
have
like
to
very
ask
much.
him.
Yeah.
If I
Ask
find
him.
out that answer,
Please
I'll tell
do.
you.
I want to post about it on Twitter. Janelle, tell
Yeah.
us about your experiences with motion capture for the promotion of the Angel of
Oh
Darkness.
my God, that was horrific. Yeah, I went to E3.
We have that.
Don't. Oh God, don't do this to
No,
me.
you look good.
I'm not going to
Oh
show
my
the
God.
video. Don't worry. It's just a
This
still.
is so embarrassing.
Just a still. Just a
Do
still.
they have
okay,
it somewhere you
just
can
a
watch
still,
for
that's
motion
fine, That's
capture?
fine.
It's just a picture.
Yes, it's a very long time ago, but I think years and years after I actually did that motion cap, this little video started circulating with like, yes, all my expletives when I did things wrong, and they put it together. It's very naughty. Potty mouth Lara, that's what they
It
call
was
me.
there for like all these years.
I know, I
can't
know.
believe you didn't know.
But that suit was so hot. I don't know whether anybody out there who's a voice actor has ever worn one, but they are itchy as hell. And obviously there's these tiny little balls, and they're all over your face, all over your body, so they're sensors that every move you make, you know, they hone in.
Were you nervous?
I'm very nervous because obviously I was doing a Q&A, a live Q&A in LA. Never been to LA before. It was at E3, which at the time, in 2000, was like the biggest games conference out there. And yeah, so there was kind of, you know, cartoon Lara on the screen, and I was behind in this little sweat box with somebody from Core
Did
Design.
you call it the cupboard?
Like, in case I got any techie questions.
Saying stop swearing.
Yeah, make sure I didn't swear. No, with like, if I got a techie question, obviously I'm not a gamer, they'd feed me the line. So, and I would diligently put it across.
I was supposed to do that. I was supposed to do that conference, and my agent blew it.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
No way.
Yeah,
was
I was
fun.
so angry.
That's the new info.
So
I didn't know
angry
that.
with her because they came in with a deal, and I said, what, they're going to fly me to LA and I can go to LA and do that? Yeah, I was like, yeah. And she said, no, it wasn't good enough. I said, I really wanted to do that. I wanted to go. I would have done it for nothing.
they put me up
No,
in the
maybe not,
Regency Beverly Wiltshire, which is where they shot Pretty Woman.
Oh,
It was
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Did
worth
they-
it
they looked
in
after
itself,
me well.
isn't it?
and when they were
Sorry, sorry, Eric, just to rub it in.
when they were
I
feeding
wouldn't
you
have
line.
sworn.
To be honest, I didn't know this. You know, you know what? I can actually do motion capture with Kinect. We could do that. You know,
We can do a Q&A
later.
like that.
At some point, let's revisit that. You know, you were saying they were feeding you lines. They were pretending that you're in London and there is a delay.
They were.
weren't
They were. I know that was very clever of them.
Yeah. So, question for you both. As you know, they recently announced remasters for Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, Chronicles, and Age of Darkness, following the big success of the first 3 games remastered. What are your thoughts on that? And yeah, what are your thoughts on that initially?
It's
Let's go there.
crazy. I can't believe it. I mean, just to, you know, see it up there again, people being interested in it, and for the first time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really blown
I
me
mean,
away.
It's like, I think it's quite exciting. I mean, the idea of also having a whole new generation of players potentially.
Exactly.
And you know what I love. I mean, there was because Kurtis Trent was supposed to have a lot more gameplay than he did
Yeah.
originally, and we obviously recorded a lot of that, and then it didn't happen. It was kind of like, I was like, oh, okay, but you know, inside you're like, oh, what a shame. But it would be nice if they, you know,
If you want a free copy, let me
if
know. I'll get
if
you
they
that.
could make that happen, they have
I'll
all the
make sure.
audio files somewhere. It'd be easy to do, I think.
I have them.
You have all the
Actually,
audio
I
files.
have everything. Of
Ooh.
course I do. Have we met?
I wouldn't know what to do with them though. Are you
No.
a gamer?
I leaked them ages ago.
No,
on my
I heard
website.
some of them, but I mean, there was a lot
No,
of it.
all of them that were recorded, they're
And
all
I've
out
seen
there.
there was some of the animations, the test
Yes,
animations I
those
saw
two.
recently.
Yeah, courtesy of Peter Connolly, the composer. You know, obviously we've done these kind of panels before, but this is different. This is like a re-release of your work for the newer generation of players to play with the better controls and all that.
Absolutely.
Probably feels quite surreal.
It
doesn't
does feel really surreal, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see someone play it actually this time. Maybe you can
Your
give
child?
us a few tips.
Well, I could do a live stream with you if you want.
Maybe
I'll
you could
play
teach
it.
us how to play.
I can.
Yeah.
By all means. Have we met? Of course I will do that. You know, I actually had the pleasure of working with Saber Interactive, who'd done the remasters early this year. I can't comment much on that work, but the entire dev teams are die-hard Tomb Raider fans, and I'm sure they will make you all proud. So, yeah. Final question for me is from you both, but final question for you too, because I know you have to go. Eric will stay, we'll carry on, don't worry. When you first started your Tomb Raider, when you had your last Tomb Raider work, like 20 years ago, you don't look a day older, by the way.
Pay you later.
Did you expect that, you know, here, 20 years after, you're talking with this weird guy with a
Never.
weird accent on stage?
No, never. Honestly, I mean, just to meet everybody in the Tomb Raider community has been such a joy. I mean, you know, they've kept the spirit of my game certainly alive. So thank you to those of you who've turned up today that
Follow
I know
her on
and love as
Instagram,
well,
she's great.
that
Yeah.
I know from Instagram and
The original Angel of
Darby.
Darkness, all together.
Yeah. No, the Angel of Darkness fans are incredible. I
Yeah.
mean,
They're
I
so
mean, as
supportive.
you know, yeah, they're very supportive, but also they're so creative. That's the thing that blew
Yes.
me away.
Oh my God, very
And,
creative.
You know, I work with Murty now at trying to his book, Shadow Histories, with some of the creatives who come as fans originally, but actually are professionals in their own right. And I think it just shows how clever they are. Even with you making, Alhawa, for example,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
incredible. You're your own
You
creative
can do
force.
Kurtis one next if you want.
Sure.
Just let me know. Oh, okay. He committed now. It's all on the record. Yeah, that's all my questions where you featured, Jonell. So you have 2 more minutes to go. So I didn't expect to finish so quick. That's what he said all
I
the
know,
time.
we thought we were going to be on at 4:15. I'm
Yeah.
going to the theatre to see The Devil Wears Prada tonight. I've got to go.
Yeah. But thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
over,
Ash.
Jonell. Always a pleasure.
Oh,
Everyone, please
same.
follow her on Instagram. She needs more followers at the Angel of Darkness. Yeah, so
The original Angel of Darkness.
the original Angel of Darkness. Sorry.
It's a bit of a long
Yeah.
handle.
But it's all together, so easy to remember.
Yeah.
So everyone,
Thanks, guys.
Jonell Elliott.
Lovely to meet you. Take care.
No. Give us a hug before you go.
Bye, darling.
See you later, dear. Sorry about the delay. Yeah. Now, Eric,
Oh,
let's
this
finish
thing,
you
okay.
off. Hello.
Hello,
Let's
Ash.
get close and comfy and
They
all
can
that
ask me the
jazz.
real questions.
I know, yeah. Important questions now.
Yeah.
How did you land at the role of Kurtis Trent? What was the casting process like?
Well, it was very interesting because I actually asked Murty this morning just to make sure I got this right. And it turns out that there was a company who was hired to put together a short list of actors. And in those days, they put it on a CD-ROM, and they sent them off maybe 10 or 12. And that's how it went. And Murty said he heard the voice, said, that's the guy.
Right?
That's
Okay.
simple.
Yeah, I don't think he envisioned anyone else to do it. Like,
He said he kind of, it matched exactly what he heard in his head.
did you have like any references to go when you were portraying him for the first time?
Having what?
Like, when you were having this casting, what was your reference to do?
No, it was. I think it came from clips I'd already used, so I don't think it was from that. But once I got in there, we had long talks about the character. We'd gone through it together, and in the studio, we spent a long time trying to get it just right.
Okay. So you recently voiced quite a few characters. Well, I mean, you voice characters all the time in all the major games, like Horizon Forbidden West,
Yes.
Cyberpunk, which I love. I actually love Forbidden West as well. Dead Island 2, which is lovely. Many others. I can't list your IMDb here, but how has the voiceover recording process changed since doing that to what it is now? That's Jonell Salam, sorry.
Yeah, quite a lot. I mean, it really depends on the game, of course. The rare opportunity to actually rehearse, to actually have someone in the room with you, used to happen. Angel of Darkness was probably the best. There was another game I did around that time where we did this similar thing in the same studio. But since then, there's a lot of the games, like, for example, Horizon was walk in, picture of the character, lines up on the screen.
Right.
And I looked at it and I thought, I know who that guy is. Except I think for the other character, there's 2 voices I did in that. One was Travis.
Yeah.
Travis was like that, but the monologues were really well written, and it kind of really made it clear who he was. And we talked about it a little bit, and then we just did it. And the other one, I think I actually saw the video because I had to match it almost like an ADR. And I kind of knew who that character was and kind of the style of it like that, and then created the voice from that. So it's separate.
See, I was looking at your IMDb. I knew you voiced so many characters and still going, but I had no idea about Cyberpunk. Like, how did I miss that? Who did you do in Cyberpunk?
That's a good question. Sometimes the problem is with gaming, voice games, is they never tell you the actual name of the game. And so quite often you are a character that has a name that changes, and the game changes. If you told me, I have to see it, but I mean, I could tell you once I looked into it.
I will do better research
Okay.
for that. So which recording process you prefer? That
That
or
is always more fun. I mean, I have to say, when I did, what was it called? The Division. The Division was, like a radio announcer.
Multiplayer, yep.
Yeah, and for that one, I had a great director, and the two of us must have been 3 days of just doing monologues, and he spent a long time going over all of them over and over and over again until we got it just right. The second time I did it, I walked in and I had 2 hours to do all the ones we'd done in 3 days.
Move your
That's how they,
microphone. Yep.
what, they can't hear it?
Yep.
That's how it changes.
Yeah.
So basically, once the franchise gets set up, the next time you get half the amount of time because you know what you're doing and they want you to do it more quickly. And I think people notice it as the game, the writing goes. You don't have a chance to really dig in. However, Dead Island was different. It was all...
That
you know,
took 15 years to make or something.
yeah,
didn't it?
I was on it for 3.5 years.
Well, I don't know how it was like very long time.
I think 2 or 3 directors, and they fired the original, well, not fired, they changed the villain from a guy. We did it all in the studio in Nottingham, which was great fun, and we did it all in motion capture suits.
Yeah.
Did the whole thing, and then they just removed the villain and kept all the rest of us in the same.
Right.
But it was great because you could actually see, they kept playing around with my hair in different ways, you know? And I was like, yes. And even for a while I had like no hair at all and no facial hair, and I was like, that's cool. And then it came out the way it did. But you could actually see it, except for your hands are always like this.
Oh. I actually remember Dead Island 2 being like showcased initially in 2011 at Eurogamer.
That's right.
In
That's right.
Earl's Court. That was my first Eurogamer ever. It's been a while, yeah. Going back to the Angel of Darkness,
Yeah.
was there much direction from Murty and Peter?
Yeah, there was a lot. Murty,
yes,
not Peter.
of course.
Yeah, Murty, it was all relationship stuff, you know, but it was mostly very positive, and it kind of, the feedback was so good that it made you just your attention was so focused. You know, if somebody really is loving it and it's from him and it's his words and you think they're great.
Yeah.
You know, there was some, because looking back, I watched it originally before I came here just in case, you know, to make sure I remembered. And there's some lines between Laura and I, there's a lot of information. And, you know, I think from all that rehearsing, you can get it out. Now, if you walked in on your own without having that background, without Murty helping you along, it would be really tricky to get that to work.
Yeah, you need to get all this mood down because they did change quite a bit, but because they were crunching towards the end, and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff was cut out and changed. So
I mean, that was the only disappointing thing for me was to not be able to play the character. And I thought, oh, the spin-off could have been, you know, they tell you about it and you think, we'll see. You never know how it's going to go, but there's always a little bit of hope.
there was a script for the spin-off.
There was a
I
script.
did publish it. Yeah,
You did publish it.
It looked very interesting. I mean, it was
Yeah,
very
they should
Vampire the
make that,
Masquerade.
don't you think?
kinda.
Now that they're redoing it, don't you think that's what they should do?
Yeah, yeah, we'll do animation. We'll do that. We're going back to the mock-up that Jonell did for E3. What's your experience with that like?
What? Doing what?
Like, do you enjoy doing mock-up?
Mock-up.
Mock-up, yeah. Do you do mock-up at all?
Oh, mocap.
Yeah, mock-up, sorry.
Yeah, I like it.
Foreign.
No, I like it. I like it, especially now the technology's gotten so much better. When you first did it, you kind of could see a little bit, but you weren't really sure what was happening. I did Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 was like months of it, which was great because we were a unit, and we actually had like fake guns, and we did the whole thing. And I remember when we first did it, the guy who was the director of that was a monologuist, and you know we had a script that was like this thick down at Pinewood. We did a pre-launch week of filming for the top of. So we were literally crawling on our hands and knees and doing all that. I mean, it's quite exciting. You know, you were really playing the game. You were doing it for real, pretty much. Now that you can see it, it just makes it easier in your mind rather than just being little squares and things like that. Now you can actually see it. It's fun because you kind of want to watch yourself the whole time, but it's like, who's that guy? That's what I'm doing.
Are you going to look up that video that Jonell did where she swears as Lara?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd definitely like to see that.
If Kurtis Trent to be brought back, I'm not going to ask you if you want to voice him because of course you do, but
Yeah.
what would you like to see in him? Obviously he will change since years have gone past, but what would you like to see in the character?
Well, I mean, you know, there's a couple of things where you do see him a little bit there, where the introduction of him on his motorbike and kind of, you know, because as I said to you, Murty's done this. When Murty, I think, wrote Angel of Darkness, he had written these 2 novels already. And so this whole world was already in him. It's not the same world, but there's kind of the same darkness, the same kind of angels, and the same kind of depth of character that he always writes with. And there's a character in that called Lauren, surprisingly, right?
Okay.
Who rides a motorbike. But it's the fact that, I mean, there's a lot of interaction where he doesn't actually say anything, you know, but except with Lara. And I don't know, I think it would just be to kind of show a side we don't see of him yet. You know, something you might see or you imagine that he's like that, and see what he's like in different situations. I don't know. I don't know, really, unless...
Yeah. Like, these are all the questions I have for you, but I want to carry on chatting because we still have time. You know, with Kurtis being kind of like this mysterious stranger and all that, see, what I'm particularly interested in, like I didn't ask you before, but I kind of want you to elaborate a little bit on that. When they show you the picture of Kurtis and said you're casting for this, what did you how did you think to portray him like?
Well, you know,
What is it like, rock and roll?
No, but no, the way I always look at it like that is it's like, I don't know, when you're at drama school, you do mask work. So it's kind of, you can either enact and you kind of go inside out, or you can go outside in. Sometimes it's like, you don't find the character until you actually put the shoes on, or you find the hat, and you get the image of what the guy looks like, and then you know who he is, you get the voice. And in some ways, because the artwork's there, it's kind of like you try to channel the picture into your voice. What would that guy who looks so cool sound like?
Nice.
And all of a sudden you start to feel like, you know, just the tension in your voice changes slightly, or the way you speak, or the way you place it in your voice. It comes out in the way you move, you know, from the feeling. That's the way. So it's like doing mask work in a way, but that's the way I look at the voice work.
You know, there are actually some bloopers of you out
What am I saying?
You don't say much, but you laugh a lot.
We were laughing a lot, and I think that comes out in the game.
That's actually inside the game, in game files, but I do have more somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably published it already. So, final question from me is, so all these years later, you've done so many games, you've done TV, films and all that. You were Human Dalek in Doctor Who. So which one, and you don't have to say Kurtis automatically, you know, we're not going to lynch you. Which one of all these characters is your favorite one as a character, and which one gave you more pleasure, the most pleasure to work on?
Well, I mean, that's a difficult one. It's not a single answer, because obviously the Doctor Who one, I actually had to do it. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just voicing it for somebody else. And for me, the process was like 4 hours of makeup before we go into it. And I really loved the storyline of that, right? The way in which this character turned into half human, half Dalek. For me, it was quite exciting in terms of the scripting and the way it went. Kurtis in his legacy and the kind of character I love. But I have to say, I also like doing just being able to be in mocap it's such a joy to be able to do that kind of work. Do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of halfway between film and theater. It's like in 3 dimensions or 4 dimensions. So you're being caught from all sides. So it's like doing theater, but not having to learn the lines and get up and do it every single night. It's like doing film and theater. So those kind of experiences are really great, and I do love them.
Do you want to talk about your music album a bit?
Well, it was a long time ago, but
I'm gonna have another
no, I
one.
always say this. I mean, because it comes up in the questions, that my first introduction to the fans of Angel of Darkness was I made an album way back around the time that the game came out, and there was Kurtis Trent Estrogen Brigade got in contact with me, and they said, we really like your album, and this is what we are. We're the fans of Angel of Darkness, and Savannah Cortez and I became quite friendly, and she built my website for me, my music website. Nice. And I shot a film that I directed out in LA, and she came and met me, and she came to the premiere. We became quite friendly, and the Brigade, I have to say thank you to, really kind of looked after my music website and really helped me host it and everything, and taught me about, well, back then, social media, which didn't really exist.
MySpace was a thing.
MySpace. But it gave me a real interest in the fan base, which I've continued to be a part of, and work with Jenny Millward, and I work with, lots of different people, Chris Caponetti, and a few other people, and when I was still working with them, I can't
There's
believe
a
I
lot
forgot
of
their
us.
names. Yeah, you know them, but you probably all know them as well. And the thing is, their creativity has inspired me.
Jody? George?
Jasmine Steiner,
Yeah, there was another one,
and
Jody, I think. Or
the guy who writes the music.
Alison, sorry,
and
Alison.
who writes the music, the great Dean Copley.
Dean Copley, yeah, we
And
all love
so we
Dean
did the
Copley.
Shadow Histories trailer, which we're gonna launch in another month, which is Murty's books made into a kind of graphic series. So we're gonna need everybody who's interested in Murty and all his work. If you go to if you go to murtyscofield.com, if anyone's interested, I'm looking for a social media person to help push it along for this opening of the teaser, to get the IP, so people go, because there's a big problem with people. I've talked to the people in Doctor Who as well. They don't believe there's crossover between gamers and audio, or gamers and film. Well, obviously gamers and film, but gamers and TV. And I think that from the fans I've met, Murty's stories touch them in a certain way. And I think, well, why not try and push the gamers into watching things that you want to see, rather than just waiting along for something to come along. And it's like an extension of Murty's Angel of Darkness stories. And I think who better than the fans themselves to be the ones representing that? And that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment.
Yeah.
For me, it's dear to my heart, and I'm trying to get it out there for Murty.
Actually, you know what? That was not my final question. I lied. This is my final question now.
Does that mean it's my final answer?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Potentially. So
All right.
what I'm asking is, you've done voiceover work, actor work, acting, and directing, and all that. Do you prefer to be in front of the camera, in front of the mic, or behind, making it all happen?
Well, I'll tell you what. I like after a while, I like being in front of the camera a lot. It takes you, every time you do a new job and you haven't done one for a while, it's like once you get back in. And if you do something that's just a day, then you have to deal with the fact that you're coming on a set that's already happening. It's like getting on an ocean liner and everybody's been on there for a week and you're thinking, oh, okay. And they go, right, now it's your turn, you know. Voice work I love because, one, you don't have to learn it, and it's happening in the moment. It's so fresh and it's exciting in the studio. I love directing. I love directing because you have a team. You're not a solo tennis player. You know, you're part of a group. And so, for example, in like a lot of the games, they won't tell you what's coming because they don't want to. They're so nervous about letting out any information. You're like, I know, but I'm trying to do this for you. I'm trying to get this thing to happen in the best possible way, but they don't want to tell you. Whereas when you're directing, you have a technical crew behind you that's your team. And I find that way you're involved with the creativity from the beginning to the end, which is also why I've been trying to make content. Because then you're involved from the beginning to the end, and you're not just holding people back, you know, or you're not. So does that answer your question? I like all of them for different reasons.
Yes.
That's my answer.
And I like a long extended answer, so thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Loren, also
Thanks
known
for
as Kurtis
staying.
Trent, and lots of other characters.
Appreciate it.
I'll be around for a little bit. I do have a few free lithographs with Tomb Raider: The Myth of Valhalla, signed by Murty Scofield, the writer of the Angel of Darkness. So if anyone wants them, come over. They're free. Just take them from me.
Oh, and also to say that I know this is not from me, but the Kurtis Trent journals that are really beautiful are on sale. If you go, they sold out, I think, in Derby. If you want one, I think if you go to murtyscofield.com, you can order them through there, and they're making a whole new run.
You can make a commission,
I don't get anything out of it.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
See you
Thanks for
later.
staying.